There are things happening in our world today that, just a few decades ago, would have been considered pure science fiction. Self-driving cars, lab-grown organs, artificial intelligence writing books, and even space tourism. But what if I told you that many of these futuristic ideas were actually hinted at in the Qur'an more than 1,400 years ago? This isn't about vague interpretations or forcing meanings. We're talking about clear verses that make you pause and wonder, how could this book possibly describe something that didn't even exist back then? In today's episode, we're diving into 7 modern technologies that the Quran indirectly, and sometimes directly, pointed to. Let's begin. Welcome to the Knowledge Channel. Don't forget to subscribe in the channel if you are seeking the truth, hit the like button and the ring bell. Let's start with something straight out of a sci-fi thriller: cloning and gene editing. Today, scientists have cloned animals. We have edited human embryos using CRISPR technology. There's even talk of creating custom-designed babies. It sounds like playing God, and yet the Quran already preempted the idea of unknown creations. In Surah An-Nahl 16:8 it says, "And He creates that which you do not know." This verse isn't just referring to things we're unaware of. It's also an open-ended statement, hinting that creation itself will continue in ways we haven't yet imagined. It leaves the door open for discoveries that expand the very definition of what it means to create. And that's exactly what cloning does. It pushes the boundaries of natural birth and reproduction. The Quran doesn't deny these possibilities. Instead, it frames them within divine permission. It acknowledges the unknown and reminds us that not knowing doesn't mean it isn't real. It just hasn't been revealed yet. Let's talk AI, artificial intelligence. Today, machines can write books, make art, diagnose disease, and even carry on human-like conversations. They're learning, adapting, and in some cases, outperforming humans. Now travel back in time to Surah An-Naml 27:40. Prophet Solomon is speaking to his assembly about bringing the throne of the Queen of Sheba. A powerful jinn says he can bring it in the blink of an eye. But then someone else, the one who had knowledge from the book, says, "I will bring it to you before your glance returns to you." And just like that, boom, the throne appears. Who was this person? Some say he had divine knowledge. Others suggest he possessed superior understanding of nature, laws, energy, knowledge that gave him the ability to manipulate reality instantly. Now, compare that to what AI does. It pulls data from enormous books, digital books, and makes calculations in microseconds. We're not saying AI is spiritual or divine, but it reflects how access to deep knowledge enables instant and transformative action. The Quran isn't describing robots, but it's illustrating something profound. When knowledge is harnessed correctly, reality itself can shift in unimaginable ways. One of the most striking verses about human advancement is found in Surah Ar-Rahman 55:33. "O company of jinn and mankind, if you are able to pass beyond the regions of the heavens and the earth, then pass. You will not pass except with authority." For centuries, scholars debated what this could mean. Was it metaphorical, spiritual? But today, it makes perfect sense. We've already launched astronauts beyond the atmosphere. We've placed rovers on Mars. And we're now planning manned missions to the moon and beyond. But the verse doesn't stop at permission. It says, "except with authority." That authority has been interpreted by many as scientific knowledge, technological power, or divine permission. And here's the amazing part. Not only does the Quran foresee the possibility of space exploration, it defines the condition needed to make it happen. Without the right knowledge, tools, and preparation, we can't go anywhere.
In a time when humanity believed the heavens were unreachable, this verse stood as a silent prophecy, and now it speaks louder than ever. Let's switch gears. Today, you are being watched. Your phone tracks your location, security cameras scan your face, smart devices listen in on your conversations. Surveillance is everywhere. Now, listen to this verse from Surah Az-Zalzala, 99:4-5. That day, it, the earth, will report its news because your Lord has commanded it. This is describing the day of judgment, when earth itself will speak about what occurred upon it. Every step you took, every word you said, every action you performed, all recorded by the earth itself. Now ask yourself, isn't that what's happening now? Smart homes know when you enter or leave. GPS tracks your every move. Your digital fingerprint is stored in clouds, satellites, and databases. Your life is becoming part of the Earth's permanent memory. In other words, the Qur'an foresaw a time when technology would literally allow the Earth to report your actions. Again, it's not a stretch, it's a reality.
In Islamic tradition, Prophet Solomon had control over the wind, could hear animals, and ruled over jinn. Whether that was through divine miracles or an advanced form of knowledge, it hints at human enhancement. And in today's world, we're not far off. Neural implants can now help paralyzed people move again. Artificial limbs controlled by brainwaves. Elon Musk's Neuralink is working to link human thoughts directly to machines. We're not just building technology, we're becoming technology. This isn't to say that we're replicating prophetic miracles, but the idea that humans can be enhanced, can be upgraded, can possess abilities beyond the natural, it's no longer fiction. It's happening in labs, hospitals, and tech companies around the globe. The Qur'an showed us figures with abilities that surpassed normal human limits, and we're inching closer to that through science. Let's talk about transportation. In Surah Yasin 36:42, the Qur'an says, "And we created for them similar to it, what they ride." The verse comes after mentioning ships, but then says similar to it, meaning God created other forms of transport, known and unknown. Think about it. In a world of horses and camels, this verse planted a seed about other ways of moving, future ways. Fast forward to today. Self-driving cars, robo-taxis, drones, magnetic levitation trains, even hyperloops. We're riding vehicles that don't even need drivers anymore. Machines navigate traffic, avoid obstacles, park themselves. The verse didn't limit transport to ships or animals. It said there would be other things, other rides. And here we are, riding into the future on machines nobody could have imagined back then. Finally, let's go deep. In Surah Al-Waqiah 56:83-85, speaking of the moment of death, the Quran says, "But we are closer to him than you, but you do not see." This verse shows a hidden dimension, something present, something powerful that we can't see. And this idea, it resonates heavily with modern physics. Today, scientists talk about dark matter, invisible energy fields, parallel universes, and the multiverse theory. They say most of the universe is made of things we can't detect. On a simpler level, we have virtual reality, entire worlds created by pixels, environments you can touch, walk in, and feel, even though they don't physically exist. When the Quran tells us that something is close but unseen, it's inviting us to think beyond the physical, to explore what lies behind the curtain of reality. Science is now confirming that there's more to this universe than meets the eye. Let's be clear, the Quran is not a science book. It doesn't use lab terms or physics formulas. But what it does is far more powerful.
It guides the human mind to explore. It hints, it suggests, it opens the mind to possibilities beyond time and space. When you line up modern technology with ancient verses, not with blind belief, but with honest curiosity, you find patterns, messages, warnings, invitations. The Qur'an said, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and in themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth." Surah Fusilat 41:53. And that's what's happening. With every scientific breakthrough, with every new discovery, we're not moving away from the Quran, we're actually catching up to it. So if you found this episode insightful, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to see how science and spirituality can walk hand in hand, because the future might already be written.